Alright, welcome back guys to the second part in this video replay analysis that I'm doing for people from my GamersRdy replay analysis profile. Once again, this person has told me that it is okay for me to post their replays on the channel. It's just something to let people kind of see a preview of how I go about coaching people. Yeah, I have two replays today. And we're just gonna start numerically here. So this one first. Alright. So okay. Alright, so right here you got beat off the kickoff because you didn't flip. You see this guy right here, he flipped to the ball, so he was able to beat you to it. So if we go back, what you need to do is you need to flip as soon as you get right here. So by the time you land, you're going to be somewhere around here. And then you need to jump again to hit the direct center of the ball in the middle. So the reason I say flip this early is because you'll land further back, so you have more time to get up higher, right? If you flip too late, like say right here, you're going to land right in front of the ball and you're going to hit it below. You're not really going to get that dead center hit that will make for a good 50. Back up real quick. Okay, right here. At this point, you need to recognize that your teammate doesn't have possession of the ball, and you need to start rotating out. There's not really much that you can do at this point, because this guy is closer to the ball. He's going to beat out your teammate. I know that you were probably thinking your teammate can get back to it, so you're going to try to demo the people that are in the net. But your teammate is all the way back here, and the ball is right here next to somebody that's about to hit it. So yeah, at this point, just grab that boost, start rotating out. Honestly, like the way you're angled, you can take a minute and bump this guy or demo him, take him out to play as you're rotating back. But yeah, committing this far across the net like this, like yes, you did get the demo, but slow it down real quick. Your teammate didn't get to the ball, so that demo kind of put you out of position. I mean, you do have a teammate back, and this guy is facing this direction, so there's no immediate danger. But if this guy was right here, he would have been able to catch the ball, and now this guy would have been heading out. So now you have one person right here, and you're in the net. So it effectively turns it into a 2v1 because your teammate would be the only person back to actually save the play that would have formulated here if this guy was facing the right direction. So that sounds like a pretty hypothetical situation, but it's what occurs more often than not when people are paying attention and rotating properly. And even if it didn't happen in this particular case, it's always good to start practicing and future proofing your gameplay, because by the time you get into GC, it's going to hit you like a brick if you don't actually start getting ready and start thinking in a more GC like mindset. So that was a completely fine bump. Yeah, that was good. Right, so at this point, kind of turned in a little bit too quickly. We'll just slow it down again. So he shoots the ball, and what you really need to be looking for at this point is to see which one of these guys is going to hit the ball. And so this guy right here is going to hit it, and he's facing this direction, which means that he's going to be sending the ball over this way. So you need to start drift turning towards this way, or even back up your car and start turning this way. You just need to be watching out for which way they're going to hit the ball according to how their car is angled. So he hits the ball that way, and then actually I'm going to keep it slowed down. Yeah, because you weren't really ready for it, you ended up not being able to get to the ball that fast, and yeah, you ended up missing. Surprised you didn't get the boost. Alright, so your teammate right here, so he's demoed. I mean, let me look from his point of view. Right, yeah, he definitely saw that you were coming back. He really shouldn't have taken this. Even though he was just demoed. But, because nobody was in your corner, or in this corner over here, it worked out. But yeah, he saw you coming, he should have left that for you. Because if that was a shot on, then neither one of you would have been ready for it. And yeah, right here, really want to make sure you're grabbing this boost if you're getting this close. Like, I know the ball was kind of going a little bit fast, but if you can start turning in and almost pre-flip it here, make sure it rolls up the wall, you can then, come in, grab the boost, and then follow the ball up, and then try to get a pass out mid. Yeah, anytime you're trying to control the ball in a scenario like that, you don't want to get a hard hit, which is what ended up happening, and you couldn't really follow it effectively because you didn't have any boost. Right, so at this point you have a teammate coming in to net, and this guy above you has just recovered after that hit. So instead of turning and cutting him off, just keep heading around and, let this guy be the next man. Or even, the better play is to let your teammate recover, and then you start pushing upfield to be the supportive role at this point. So yeah, like right here, he recovered. If you would have been over here somewhere, you would have been able to support him as he is dribbling the ball, and you would have been an option to pass to. So once again, you don't really want to get caught up in trying to demo people. Although this kind of looks like you're trying to get past them and he kind of landed on you. Yeah, okay, yeah, I see it. My bad. So here you used a lot of boost. So if we slow it down, just pay attention to your boost meter. So right here, you really need a drift turn. So just tap the boost a little bit and drift. You'll end up turning a lot faster and using less boost. And also, like, about here, you can let off the boost and just coast the rest of the way. Because you're going to have to slow down anyways to really effectively get the proper height on the ball. So like, if you slowed down, you would have been able to hit it more right here at your jump rather than directly underneath the ball. which just kind of popped it up high again. And then at the end of it, you ended up with no boost. Ooh, I have on gold. Right. So another thing that you really want to be looking out for in this particular scenario is which way the ball is going to be played. So, you know, you might be rotating far post at this point, but because the ball was just hit, now this has become the far post. So your new rotation would actually be through this way and not across here. But, you know, your teammate didn't really control the ball. Otherwise, this would have been a good play because you would have been able to take him out. Your teammate could have dribbled it across like here, and you could have just either kind of turned and supported them, or you know, if this guy started turning in this way, you could have, you know, continued your rotation in a net and drift turned, and then kind of followed up down midfield from there. So yeah, really look out for. I mean, in any case, like you can't do anything at this point because your teammate is just on gold. But yeah, really look out for positioning based on the play that's happening, rather than, you know, what the general idea of rotations is. Because, you know, rotations is a pretty it's a concept that is pretty explained pretty static, but it's really more of a fluid maneuver. You know, people on YouTube explain rotation as like, you know, you have your 1, 2, and 3, where really at any point anybody can fill in one of these spots. So I call it filling the gap, and you pretty much just want to look for a place to be where your teammates aren't. And yeah, just looking for stuff like this, where all of a sudden, you know, what you thought was far post is now near post because of the way the ball is coming in. So. Right, so as soon as you see your teammate hit that, you need to jump. You know, waiting this long kind of prevented you from getting that angle that you needed. So like right here, you need to start jumping and flying for it. Yeah, it gets pretty awkward if you kind of jump underneath the ball. So I'm actually gonna look from this perspective, right? So, what are these cameras setting? So at this point, you need to see that you have a teammate right here, and he is already facing the direction that he needs to be going, and you need to start rotating out. Because you cutting right here like this forced you to, you know, challenge the ball in an awkward direction, so you ended up side flipping and not able to actually hit it, and that kind of pushed your teammate away from it. So if we look right here, back up a little bit more. If we look right here, you checked and you saw your teammate, which means that he's coming in, like he was heading this direction. So you don't need to like kind of cut in like this. Because, you know, it wasn't even guaranteed that your teammate was going to get this pop. Because in higher ranks, he would have already been tackled and the ball would have been heading out this way. Um, this is a pretty risky turn to do. Alright, so you kind of got a little bit too close here. And yeah, you kind of cut off your teammate again, so get him. So he's now... Well, he kind of backed off because he saw that you were going, but he really should have been heading in this way, and you should have been following back behind him. So yeah, he saw you, started backing off. Then, see right there, he started going for it because it was coming towards him, but you know, went all the way across, so he backed off again. Recovery though. Right, at this point you have plenty of boost, and there's not really a point to go for this boost. You're just putting yourself out of the play. You need to be driving right here. Make yourself an option, because if you look, you have plenty of boost. You can do a lot with even 30 boost, but you know, you almost have 100, and there's a bunch of pads. So you back pass, he gets the play off, now he has possession. You need to be driving right here, and you know, taking this cut right here is pointless because you already had boost, right? And you had to come in too quickly, and he had to push the ball further away instead of just getting a nice little tap on it to pass directly to you. If you were where this guy was at this point, that would have been so much easier to shoot on compared to you having to, you know, drive away from the net now and then shoot back on it to the right. So with 40 boosts, you need to recognize you can't get back to this, and you need to focus on recovering at this point. So, you know, be flat, get ready to land, pick up this pad, and start heading out. I'm pretty sure this boost right here also spawned, but you know, replay glitch. Yeah, it actually did spawn. Right, so the hesitation here actually let him get the bump out. If you started jumping at this point, you would have been able to get to the ball and avoid the bump altogether. That's a good recovery. Your teammate kind of knocked the ball away from you. These guys really like tackling. Alright, so at this point, you need to recognize you are the third man, which means that you need to be in this area. You know, you have a teammate all the way out here that's facing this direction, so he's not really able to do anything unless he turns. And you have one teammate that's, you know, kind of not got great possession, because you can see the ball is like way above him. This guy's about to tackle him. And, you know, if you stayed more along the back wall here, you would have been able to come across the net a lot easier rather than having to turn back in, and then, you know, you're out here. Now you got to jump backwards, which is what happened. And now you're backwards. And also, another thing you need to realize is something like this isn't a threat. So there's not really a point to jump for it. You know, like, even without seeing people, you can hear that nobody else has jumped up for it. So, if you're really worried about it, you can even turn off your ball cam and check to your, left and right. That guy was going to get the boost. This guy is actually backwards, heading this way, and this is the only threat at this point. So now you need to worry about something, and because you're in the air with no boost, it becomes a problem. But hands up, shooting at Narnia, and teammate missed. Right, so it's not really good to camp this pad right now because you really need to be focusing on being the next man in line to rotate in defense, because you guys are getting pretty heavily pounded at this point. They're constantly getting back to the ball with no really chance for you guys to clear it. But I think you did realize when you kind of came up here. Ooh. Okay, this turn, very risky. Really what you want to do is grab this pad and kind of wait right here. And then your teammate can, push it. And then if it gets past him, then, you'll be there just in case. Yeah, you never want to turn away from your net if someone's shooting on it. Yeah, and if you accidentally turned around and couldn't really get your bearings fast enough, that could have been an own goal even. Alright, so one thing I want you to do is start coasting a lot more at supersonic. So, get your supersonic and then just, hold drive, because, once you're supersonic, you don't need to keep boosting to maintain it. It's only when you're turning that you need to boost to maintain it. So, at this point, you need to get supersonic so you can, jump off the wall, wave dash, anything. But, if this guy right here was, say, maybe right here, that supersonic could have meant the difference between this guy shooting on your net and you actually being able to save it. So, once again, it's another hypothetical scenario that could have happened if this guy was closer to the play. Right. So the main thing here is just not controlling it. So you kind of, it was kind of a panic situation because your teammate kind of put it right in front of the net, even though there's nobody directly next to you that can really do anything. But you need to get to the ball so you can control it. So at this point, making this hard of a hit kind of sent it directly to him. So rather you want to make a, once again, if you were supersonic, you would have been able to get here faster to do more with the ball, but a softer touch to, dribble it past this guy and kind of put it more into the corner, or even a drift turn, you would have been able to take the ball more this way and away from the offense over here, and you would only had to worry about this guy right here if you would have pushed it towards the right. And if you find yourself in a situation again where this happens, double jump and fly for it. Because once the ball gets to a certain height, you want to start double jumping. And I'd usually say, if it gets either a certain height or a certain distance from you. So right here, at this point, you need a double jump aerial. But you know, in terms of height, if it was about like here on the backboard, you need a double jump. But otherwise, you know, if the ball is bouncing kind of, you know, up here on the net, you can get away with single jumping and flipping into it. But you know, if the ball is heading this fast away from you, you also need a double jump so you can get that height, because it's even though it's not that high, it's getting away from you. So you need to be able to get above the person that you're trying to dunk. Yeah, this kickoff was better. Only thing I'd say is just work on the landing. That kind of, like the way you flipped into the ball right there kind of is the reason that it was lost, but other than that, the whole execution of it was pretty good. So really what your teammate should have done here is looked out for a pass to you, and if he did pass it to you, it would have been better to save that 20 boost. So you cheated, which is good, but at this point, you know, this guy's gonna end up kind of flipping this way, so he's gonna go past you. This guy's over in this corner, and this guy's over in this corner. So they both recognize that you're going for the ball, so they're gonna both start turning in at this point. So what you need to do is you need to take control of the ball and dribble it and try to flick it on net rather than shooting it preemptively and not being able to get much power on it the way you hit it. So for these, really want to wait a little bit more so you can get that upwards momentum from the bounce. So, you know, catch it as it's bouncing up again rather than as it's right before gonna hit the ground. Because if you caught it while it was bouncing up, that would have been a shot on, you know, somewhere in this area right here. It would have been up high. So in this rank, don't count on your teammates to hit double touches. You can pretty much guarantee that people at this rank don't have the consistency that they need to hit double touches. So, you know, you can kind of assume, unless your teammate proves you otherwise in the game, and they hit another double touch earlier in the match, then just assume, you know, if they're flying for this, they're probably going to miss it. And, you know, just judging by the way he jumped up for it in the first place, it was a definite miss. Yeah, at this point, one guy has just bumped his teammate in net, so now his teammate's facing this way. He's getting kind of blocked by his teammate. So what you can do here is do that single jump, and then flip into it, and it will put a shot up high, you know, somewhere around here. Or even if you get like further this way, it'll put it on this half of the net, so absolutely nobody can reach it. And it worked out for them. So yeah, even if you were little bit faster than that, you would have been able to take that lucky 50 and maybe even put it into their corner to take it back around. Okay, so this recovery, just jump and, you know, you can half flip at this point. It's the delayed half flip, but you can still half flip. Or you can just jump, catch the ground, and then drift turn. You know, doing something like this wasted a lot of time. Okay. So the reason this goal was scored was because you have a teammate way back here and a teammate that just took a 50 in the air, which means that you're the third man. So you need to play more patient and wait to see, you know, who's going to hit it next. So obviously this guy can't follow it again. Because, you know, they just took a long 50 in the air, so he probably has not that much boost. So you need to look for either this guy or this guy to come in next to hit it. And you can pretty much completely ignore the guy that just took the 50 up here. So if we slow it down, watch. So he's recovering. And we see both these guys jump, but this guy fully commits. So if you instead were closer to the wall, you would have been able to drive up it and dodge across net. Yeah, especially because of the amount of boost you had. Like, you had just picked up a 12 pad. You wouldn't have even needed boost really if you would have driven up the back wall to defend this. Yeah. I mean, look, it didn't even go in. So let's see. Even though it didn't go in, it would have been better for you to be able to at least clear the ball so it didn't get to this point. See what happened. Wow. Okay. He ends up in net. Those camera settings, honestly. Alright. Yeah, your teammates couldn't really defend a ball that was rolling in front of the net, so yeah, you got kind of scored on. But, you know, in any case, like I said, if you were able to actually clear the ball beforehand, they would have never gotten to that point of panic. So I see here you were going, probably trying to go for an air dribble. So what you need to do is get more underneath the ball so you can hit it from here and then pop it up. But really, the safest thing to do is to just ground dribble it and flick it at this point. Just gonna see if you had a chance to make a quick comeback here. Which, yeah, it looked like he did. Yeah. I mean, the way the kickoff went, there's nothing that really could have been done. Yeah, that was the first game. Honestly, that match was just needing to be more aware of your teammates and the play that's happening. Mechanical wise, there wasn't really that many errors. Um, just small stuff that's, you know, not really trying to say it in a rude way, but it's, the average champ 2 mistakes, which, is perfectly fine because, you're playing at your skill level. Um, but yeah, the mechanics are something that usually comes with experience. There are some tricks to, help you improve your mechanics, but for the most part, they're really muscle memory and, doing the whatever movement you're doing a couple thousand times until it eventually sticks. Um, but yeah, let's just jump into the next game. Same map. Right. Trying to see. Yeah, honestly, you could have kind of brake checked this guy and went behind him to take the 50 with this guy right here. But you kind of turned for the boost, so got demoed by that guy. So you never really want to flip when you're this close to a wall, because you'll end up, smacking into the wall, flying up, ending up backwards. So if you end up backwards like this, really, there's two things you can do. So if you recognize this guy right here, he's not on the wall, so he's not really an immediate threat. You can just continue up the wall and turn into it and try to play it out this way again. Or you can, drive down the wall and rotate far post. But, if you commit to it like you did, you need to make sure you hit that. And it'll just get you out of position. Okay, whenever you flip like this also, you need to make sure that your flips actually complete. So you don't like boost up into the air. Even though this was really awkward and you expect like 5 people to hit it, your teammate has missed, so now this guy is the only other guy that you need to worry about. So either drift turn and hit it out to the side, or pre-jump him. Which right here, if you kind of pre-jumped as he jumped, you would have been able to save it. So once you're this far away from the ball, there's not really a point to turn back and go for this. You just need to start turning out and let your teammate go, like start getting ready to defend, because like these guys just triple committed. Yeah, if you would have rotated back, your teammate could have possibly, jumped for it earlier. They felt more secure that someone was back, and then you would have been back by that time, so you could have even saved it if your teammate missed. So I know this was kind of hard to read, but judging by the way he's jumping at it, you can kind of tell that he's not gonna actually commit to it. I don't know. It's easier for me to spot because I've seen people do this a lot, but I can completely understand if you sincerely thought he was gonna hit it because sometimes people like to own goal when ranked. Um, but yeah, he he just ended up really faking it. It was a kind of a risky fake, honestly. Um, that would have definitely been punished if it was a higher level game, but I guess it ended up working out. Okay. This was kind of a choose thing right here to turn on this. Is if you see your teammate immediately comes in ready to hit the ball. We look from his point of view. Coming in. And yeah, it's just something that needs to be communicated, especially because you guys are in comms. Or at least I assume you're in comms if you're partied up. But alright, so it seems like this game you're kind of not really rotating. You seem to be more kind of focused on the ball rather than like going behind your teammates and letting them get a better hit, which definitely isn't good. um, so yeah, I'm not sure really, like you just need to make sure that you're fully rotating and not cutting across the field in front of your teammates and stuff. Yeah, like even right here again, you're getting too close to the play when you have a teammate that's back ready for it, so you need to be heading like way over here, far post rotations, and letting your teammate right here take care of it. Right, so whenever you see someone on the backboard like this, and you're going up for a double touch, just stop committing, because they're definitely going to get to it before you. I mean, even though he kind of flew way past it and his teammate kind of bumped him into it, still something like that did happen. Perfectly fine to turn for, except at this point, he's not really ready for it, so it was okay to commit to. You just need to make sure that you're fully committing to this, and I can completely understand if you thought this guy was actually, okay, this guy was actually gonna hit it, but yeah, if you're already committed to this point, you just need to keep going, and as for shot placement, anywhere over in this direction of the net, or even tucking it, bottom corner right here would have been completely fine. And if you're feeling a little bit risky, even top corner. But he could have obviously landed on it and blocked it. But it looks like the way you've jumped at it, it was gonna end up somewhere in this area if you did make contact on it. Alright, so at this point, just rotate out. Like, yes, this does buy some time for your teammates, but it completely throws you out of position, and your teammate wasn't really ready for it, so I got beat immediately. Yeah, and make sure you're spreading out from your teammates. So you check right here, he's definitely going to be going for this boost, so just start turning and picking up some pads in mid so you can then turn back and let him do a full rotation. If you feel like you're going to get beat to something, just keep falling back and don't early challenge it if you're going to get beat. I saw you like hesitated right here, which, you know, it's perfectly possible for you to be able to get enough height to actually get up there, but the hesitation kind of prevented you from being able to do so. Yeah, something like this, you're going a little bit too fast, and you ended up a little bit too close because of how fast you were going. It was kind of too late to jump forward at that point. I will say, if you're playing in a ranked scenario, or, you know, any game that you feel like you want to win, going up for stuff like that is incredibly risky unless you're absolutely sure that you're going to be able to get a good hit on it and be able to properly read it. So I can tell just from the hesitation you weren't really sure of how it was going to bounce. Yeah, like, yes, it's ranked, it's okay to hit clips in, but, you know, at the same time, if you're trying to win, then you definitely want to only go for stuff that you're able to read, if that makes sense. And yeah, at that point, you just got too close and it was too late to really jump for it. Alright, so once again, no need to panic, it's hitting crossbar. Really the better thing to do is just turn off ball cam and turn towards the right so you can see the dude that's over here coming in to hit the ball. And you would have been able to stay close to the ball and not have to panic at this point. Yeah, it seems like in terms of, you know, the hits that you make, you're kind of rushing everything, and you really just need to take time and analyze, especially when nobody's being an immediate threat. Like here, you definitely had a lot of time to prepare for this. You didn't need to full on rush at it with full boost. You're holding on the boost fully. So here, if you turned in and ended up over here and let this teammate continue his rotation, you would have been able to receive this. That was a good hit. Alright, so if you've already come this far back, just let your teammate go for it. Because he's already heading in this direction, so just come back in behind him. Not really a point to... Like, at this point you kind of cut in front of him. If we look from his POV. He was forced to stay back, and you had to make more of an awkward turn to get to that. Once again, you had a lot of time. Not really a point to rush. So, you know, just sit right here, wait for the bounce, kind of pre-jump it, and just lightly tap your boost. Because, you know, you got to a point where you got too close and you didn't have enough boost to really correct yourself and get the hit. Yeah, once again, definitely good to go for if you can read it, but, you know, if you're struggling with something like this, I mean, honestly, you could have taken a lot of time to read this and, jump up for it. Because, there's nobody immediately going for the ball. Like, literally nobody in your field of view is able to go for this ball right now, which means that the enemy is somewhere on this section of the field. Um, but I'm not even sure if he's really paying attention. So yeah, you definitely have a lot of time. Um, yeah, by the time you get this close underneath the ball, you're gonna miss it. Oop. Let me rewind that real quick. So if you're committing to a ball like this and you have two teammates back, don't turn for the boost. Just continue driving up the wall and get ready to like kind of go up here on the wall and get ready to read the person that's about to smack it up. Yeah, like if you were on the wall, you would have been able to dunk him from there. Good read. Definitely a good hit to get it to your teammate. So at this point, don't really spam the camera. You need to get a muscle memory for where the boost pads are on the field. Because yeah, spamming the camera like this, like yes, you were checking, but you were still missing a lot of stuff that happened. So, fall back in at this point. Don't cut in front of your entire team. Risky. Yeah, at this point, it seems like you guys are kind of panicking a lot, especially with what just happened. One of the worst things you can do is panic during the last 10 seconds of a game. And what you want to do at this point is do something called playing time, where you hold on to the ball for a lot longer. And you don't just kind of ping pong it down the field, smack it as hard as you can, have the enemy smack it back to you. Really, what you want to do is control the ball as much as you possibly can. You try to waste as much time. So the time eventually runs out because you're up by one goal. There's no point to try for another goal. Like yes, that would seal the deal, but you don't want to overdo something that could be won just from the time limit running out, right? So with that, that'll be the end of the replay analysis. You know, same thing that I said for the other replay. It's a lot of being able to trust your teammates and not cutting in front of them, making sure you're finishing your rotations. Like I said, mechanics are something that you'll eventually improve on, and you'll improve on your reads. Really recommend for mechanics, just go into free play and bang the ball around and try to pre-jump it. But yeah, other than that, I hope you found this useful, and to everybody watching, I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Later.